Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming, and I am excited to be back with you, bringing you a first impressions video. Just a quick disclaimer, my kid's in behind me watching a tablet, so you guys might hear her, but everybody out there who listens to the channel is probably used to Stella by now. So with that out of the way, my first impression today is KartRider Drift. I haven't been able to do one of these first impression videos for a while because I haven't been able to get into a beta. But I got into KartRider Drift through the Insider program, the Xbox Insider program. So that's what I was playing it on. And this is an interesting game, so let's get right into it. What is this game? This game is basically kind of like a Mario Kart. It unabashedly copies them in a lot of different ways, with a different slew of weapons, kind of a different feel, and I should give everybody out there a heads-up disclaimer also that I have not played Mario Kart since Mario Kart 64, so I don't know what it feels like right now, so I'm not going to be able to compare this game to Mario Kart, but I'm going to do my best to give you guys an idea of what it is. So for the beta, they only allowed us to see 4 characters and a few different cars. They also gave you extra cars each day you logged in, so I got 2 of those because I logged in on 2 days. I got to play this game for about 3 hours, and it's kind of your average run-of-the-mill kart racer. You have one side you can set to speed, which is basically just a race, and then the other side you can set to items, where you, much like in the vein of Mario Kart, pick up items that can be used to trick your opponents, incapacitate them, banana peels to make them slide, smoke screens, all sorts of crazy mechanics in there during the race. Each race consists of about 3 laps, and depending on how complicated and large the track is, the race itself can take anywhere from 1.5 minutes to about 3 minutes per race. So, there's not a lot to say about this game. It's very simple, it's very straightforward. It's a definite get in and out sort of game. There is a battle pass to it, or a season pass sort of situation to it, and even the literature in the game itself says basically it's going to be free to play whenever it does release on consoles. I will say one thing I really enjoyed about it, I guess let's go into the positives, and then I'll go into some concerns, and then we'll sign off. It'll be a quick video. But the positives of this game is it handles really well. I really like the play, and it's very polished for a beta. My game only crashed once. And as far as it goes, I didn't have any problems with the races themselves. I didn't have any problems. I didn't feel like I ever got shorted because of mechanical or bug issues. It is a lot of fun, and the weapons are really interesting and cool. One of the cool things, and like I said, I can't really compare this to other kart racers because this is the first one I've been into in a long time. But one of the coolest mechanics in it is you can store one of 2 items. And there are certain defensive items that, if you time them right, can actually stop your opponents, taking you out with rockets or these weird bubbly water nymph things, and any of that you can actually block with the shield, which I found that to be a welcome strategic addition to the game. And it became really interesting about, when I get a weapon, whether I just use it to get it out of my inventory so that I could make room for other ones. And I always was trying to have at least one shield for when I got out in front. There are a slew of weapons, slew of items that can go in. And another real positive that I want to say is in the 2 hours that I played this, I only saw the same track twice. That's pretty cool. I mean, you got to consider this is still a beta, so I don't, you would have to think that there would be actually more tracks, even more tracks when they do a full release. And for me to play for 2 hours and not really notice a second track, that's pretty cool. That's a lot of track variation for a game at this stage. Obviously, the characters and the cars aren't there yet, but we'll talk about that. I don't necessarily think that's a concern. I think that we'll see a lot more characters when the full release happens. If you actually look at the loading screen picture, you can actually see in the background different characters. So I think they already have some on deck. They're just going to add to this the minute it gets released. So, okay, I want to step into the negative for a second and just talk about some of the concerns I had. My first concern, actually both my concerns, are things that might be cleared up with the full release. But, I noticed them, so I still got to point them out to you guys. But the first concern I had is there is an overall lack of variation in what you can do. Not in the maps. There's plenty of maps, like I said, and I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of customization options later, which will be nice to earn as you go along. However, you either have item mode or speed mode. You can also make a custom match yourself, picking the race or whatever. But there's no, like, season, there's no, and not season, like, circuit. I would have liked, like, a circuit to be able to, like, load in with the same 8 people for, like, 3 or 4 matches in a row. And I get why I really wanted that in my next concern. But I think that the one problem that I had is after 2 hours, even though I was still kind of getting new maps and having fun, I felt like I had seen everything the game had to offer. Again, with the full release, I'm sure we're going to see a whole slew more content. It's just something that stuck out to me, and I felt like I should mention it. My other concern, this might be a little nitpicky, but I think it's worth mentioning. So, is the loading time. The loading time to the queue time into the loading time into the actual race itself. So, I timed it because I kind of felt this early. So I timed it. It's roughly, you could get into a match from like pressing the start match button and watching the queue, like getting put into a queue and then getting into the loading screen and into the match. So from the time you press the button to getting into an actual race, it took roughly between 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2.5 minutes. Okay, now I know what you're out there. You're like, that's nothing. That's nothing for queue times. People who play For Honor or Call of Duty wait in queues anywhere between like 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes even longer. I totally agree. However, here's the main difference. When you're playing For Honor or Call of Duty or any of those bigger games, the matches themselves last between 10 and 20 minutes. I mean, some of them, if you're playing Breach and For Honor, you can be there for almost an hour. So with that said, this one, the races only ever take about 1 minute and 30 to 3 minutes. The longest race I was in was 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Now, if you really do the math on that, if you really do the math on 1 minute 30 to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you're spending, 1 minute 30 to 2 minutes and 30 seconds load screen in time to 1 minute and 30 to 3.5 minutes actual game time. You're going to be spending almost 50% of your time in the queue, in the loading. What I would much rather see out of this game is you click to go into the queue, and then the loading time actually increases a little bit, maybe jump it up to like 5-6 minutes, but it's a circuit, and you play 3 races with the people that you go in with. I would much rather see that than what they have for the beta, which is just, like I said, you wait, you load, then you go into a race that takes the exact same amount of time, then there's like an ending animation screen that takes about 40 seconds, then you repeat the process. You're really spending 50% of your time in loading screens and queues. And that's a little concerning to me. I know that the time is small, but the time in race is small, and for me, I could feel it. I could feel that it's like, oh, now I'm back in the queue. I would much rather them give us like a circuit of races that took a little bit longer to load, but gave us a longer actual play time than what they're giving us right now. So that's my only other concern. On a whole, I'm still excited about this game. I think it's a really cool thing to come out, and even with the queue times, the queue times being 2 minutes, you still add all that together, you can get a race done in under 10 minutes. So it's one of those nice games that you can get in and out of in under 10 minutes if you just got some spare time and you want to kill. And that's really cool coming from a guy, from a dad with a kid who doesn't always have a lot of time. I thought that was really interesting and neat the way that worked. So there you guys go. That's my first impressions. I will be looking forward to the full release. which they have not announced when that's going to be yet. The beta itself, if you want to get involved, is still running, and I believe it runs all the way till Wednesday this week. And it is, the way you get it is you download the Insider Program app through Xbox. Then you go in and you look at, I think the slot is test products or products you can get through it. One of the options will be the KartRider Drift beta. It will take you immediately to the download page. And it's a quick download, so you can get in and play it and give it a try yourself. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, talk to us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. Join our Discord. That link will also be in the description below. And yeah, as long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. See you guys next time.